What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be reviewing these Dyisland made in China hydraulic cable hybrid brake calipers. They did send me these to make the review after they saw my other video on those other hydraulic calipers and they think that theirs is better. So let's check it out. I can say that at least they have instructions, whereas I don't think the other ones did. I did kind of look over these already. Pretty standard stuff, nothing really surprised me, although it did recommend that I watch your video, which I did not actually do. But yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward. Here's each caliper in each box, and one different thing compared to the other ones that I installed on my other video, which I'll link down below, is this one recommends, it includes and it recommends that I install new discs as well, so I'll be doing that. Here's all the hardware. Here's the Allens, which is kind of nice, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it'd be more ecological if it didn't include these. Whatever. I'll just quickly preview one of the calipers. Looks a little different. I'm a little skeptical that it's going to actually be any better in terms of stopping performance. That's about the only thing I can really measure, is just stopping performance. Anyway, let's go ahead and install these on the bike, then we'll do a performance test and see if it's any better than the other cable pull hydraulic hybrid disc calipers. Okay, so here's the existing ones that I put on in my other video, the Zittos. And interestingly, they do look a little bit different. Here is how these Dyisland ones are gonna mount like that. I mean, it's pretty similar. You can see the hydraulic piston is here, but they're range slightly different. The cable will come through here, pull this lever, pushing the hydraulic piston, but this one pivots this way, whereas this one pivots this way. I don't know why that is. I don't know why one goes this way and the other goes this way. They do look a bit different. This kind of protrudes out where this piston is, whereas this one protrudes out this way. So they're definitely not a copy of each other or anything like that. Yeah, whatever. Let's go ahead and take this one off. We're also going to have to take the wheel off because we have to put a new rotor on. Oh, I should mention, since I installed these, I did change the rear tires. They're bigger. They're 35s instead of 32s. So I redid my 0 or 30 kilometer an hour to 0 testing, just to be fair, just yesterday. Oh, that's tight. Whoa. And the results were almost the same. I got 24, 24, 25 feet. That's 30K to 0. I'll put all those numbers up on the screen, of course. So even though the tire is a little bit bigger, it didn't really make much of a difference. First thing first, let's get the cable off of here. Get that out of the way. We got to get a very small wrench to take that off. Actually, these calipers have been pretty good. Like I said in the other review, they don't stop amazingly, but they get the job done. I'm just kind of wiggling it because I think there's kind of like a binding situation. Okay, now that we got that off, we need to use very tiny Allen keys to separate the adapter from the caliper body. Okay, I went ahead and just quickly bolted on the adapter to the new Dyisland body, and I'm just going to go ahead and bolt it right on. Again, I'm going to use the same old bolts. I could use the bolts that they came with, but these worked fine last time, so I'm sticking these right back on. We need to go ahead and capture the cable. Loosen that up. I'm sorry guys, I'm not trying to get my fat fingers right in your face. I'm trying to just make it where I can get this on and you can see what I'm doing. Ooh, there we go. That's how it goes. It just fell into place. No problem. All right, now we got it. I'm pushing that cable up as much as I can so that it's in the right position, hopefully. That looks good. It just needs to be what I call good and snug. That's the torque spec. Good and snug. There we go. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get this new rotor on. They did give me a little Allen wrench. What? Oh, my old one doesn't use Allen. It uses Torx. So, does this happen to be the right size just by luck? Yes, it does. Awesome. I'm not going to use this to put them back on, don't worry. Oops. I like using, I'll show you later. Whoa. That one's tight. All right, come back to that. Okie dokie. All right, let's see if we can get these tight ones off. Oh my, they are tight. Why are they so tight? What's up with that? I don't want to strip them, obviously. I think I didn't put these on. I think these were like this when I got the bike from the factory. Why is it so tight though? All right, guys, I guess I'm a ham-fisted idiot because I didn't strip out one, but I managed to strip out both of them off camera. So now it's Dremel time. What you can do here is you can either do make a flat on both sides, in which you can get a wrench on the outside, or you can do a slot in the middle and you can use a flathead screwdriver to go across. I'm gonna go with the slot method today. I haven't done this in forever, and I'm sorry if it's not the best camera angle. I'm just trying to get the best slotting angle, but I have done it before and it does typically work. So you just simply make a slot right in the middle with your Dremel. Put your safety glasses on. All right, now let's get a big screwdriver and pray. Pray to the bike gods. I think we are. All right, here we go. Here we go. Got one shot. Pushing down hard. Oh my God, it didn't work. Why is it so tight? Holy moly, this is crazy. Pushing down super hard. Turning my whole body here to add torque to it. Okay guys, that has become a huge pain in the butt, but as you've seen, I just demolished the head of the bolts with my Dremel, and now the threads of the bolt still remain, and it should be easy now to get it off because there really shouldn't be any pressure other than the Loctite holding them on. And I do hope, you know, you guys can jump in the comments and roast me and tell me everything I did wrong here, which led up to this catastrophe. I really don't mind. Yes, I think it is rotating. Good. I could see it turning. You probably couldn't, but I think it's turning. Yes, it is indeed. Awesome. We're getting this one. At least this one's getting out of here. I probably don't even need that. Yes. Okay, everything's gonna be okay, guys. Everything's gonna be okay. But we still have to do the other one, and we still got to get the rotor off of the front wheel. Never thought this would be such an issue. Usually these are pretty easy to pull out. There we go. There it goes. Let's see if the other one wants to be so cooperative. Finally. Okay, everything's back right in the world again. Let's go ahead and put on the rotors that they provided. Of course, they're 160 millimeters. In my humble opinion, they don't look quite as good or as cool as the originals, which had kind of this angled look to them. These ones are straight, but the good thing about that is it shouldn't matter which way you turn it, and there's no printing on it telling you which way to put it. So I'm just going to drop it on just like that. There we go. Here are the bolts that come with it, and the good thing is they have Loctite already on them, so you don't need to do that. And as I said before, it comes with the Allen key. So these are Allen instead of Torx. And it gave you this little short one, which is probably so you don't over tighten it. Being that we had all the trouble getting those bolts off, I guess I should say a few words about torquing things down. And by the way, I am not a professional bike mechanic. I'm just a guy in a garage. Anyway, about torquing down, I've never used a torque wrench on aluminum things or steel things, only carbon fiber, and I've never had a problem. I don't think I've ever had an issue. So I don't torque things down with a torque wrench. I just do it by feel, and I think it's fine. Like I said, that's just my take on it. Professionals will all say use a torque wrench. The real engineers obviously will recommend you use a torque wrench. That way you get the consistent and correct torque. No problemo. All right, it's all good and tight. And I can almost guarantee that's gonna be totally fine, especially because these have Loctite. They're never gonna back out. And critically, I'm really confident I'll be able to get these back out easily next time. Now, back on the bike, here's the rear caliper. It has this brake pad stop, so I'm gonna go ahead and slide that out because we're about to try to stick the wheel in. There we go. And I messed something up, and I can see what it is right now. So why didn't it include this little adapter guy? I believe it's because this one doesn't need it. I can look down here and the whole thing is way too high. The pads are barely touching the rotor. So what we need to do is pop the wheel back out, remove this thing, disconnect it from there, and stick the caliper right on the frame. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, guys and gals, I'm not even mad that I had to take that off because I forgot to do something really important that I wanted to do, which is check the weight difference between my Zittos and these new Dyislands. So first of all, one quick tip just to throw it out there. I found on my scale, and probably a lot of them are the same, that the battery for this thing will go out if I leave the battery in much faster than if I take the battery out and just stick it in when I use it. And since I don't use it that often, it's not a big deal just to put it in when I need it, and then it lasts a lot longer. There you go. All right, anyhow, and by the way, it's probably because it's running full time unless you take the battery out. I guess that's why. So switch it to grams, of course. There we go. All right, so if I just weigh this is the rear caliper, 167 grams. Got it? Okay, 167. If I weigh the Zitto, 144. It's lighter. Okay, but the Zitto requires the adapter plate. So with the adapter plate, 162. So they're basically the same. 167, 162. There's no, I mean, that's so little. I mean, here's like a little piece of plastic. Okay, that's only 1 gram. Even this little bolt, 6.4, 6.5. Okay, so a couple bolts. Okay, so this one is a little bit lighter. Give it that. It's almost nothing though. 166, 168, okay, whatever. So I guess what you can say is the rear are virtually the same, a minute decrease in weight for the Zitto. Never noticeable in real life though. Okay, I got everything torqued down and they seem to work, at least in the stand. There's a little bit of rubbing. I may need to adjust that, but I'm gonna ride it a little bit first before I mess with it. I don't know if it's my imagination, but they seem to stop really good. But that's just in the stand, so that doesn't mean very much. It would be amazing if they actually are super great. I'd be so happy, but I still am skeptical and I still kind of am betting that they're not going to be any different. Anyway, the back's done, so let's move on to the front. Actually, before we move on to the front, I wanted to point out one thing. See here, this is where the cable comes out because of this very different arrangement of the lever arm. It's hard to see a little bit, but the cable comes on the inside of the frame. I don't know if that's good or not. Maybe it keeps it a little bit cleaner. I haven't put the cap on it yet, but you get the idea. I don't know. It's a little different. I think I might like it actually though. As you can see here, it's all inbound. It's more inbound now. The way this lever is, it's in here, not out here. So I don't know, whatever. Let's move on to the front. Okay, folks, if you would please help me by saying a prayer that this will come off nice and easily. Okay, how many do we have? 6? Okay, 1 out of 6. Okay, here we go. 2 out of 6, no problem. 3 out of 6, okay. 4 out of 6, I can't believe it. We're gonna do this, come on. 5 out of 6, we got this. I'm very confident now. That's how it's supposed to be. I'm not gonna record this part exactly the same as last time. stick it on, and screw on the new bolts. Easy peasy. And with the new one, again, I don't think we're gonna need this plate because it's like already part of it. I'll show you in a second. Which is kind of nice, because it did take me a minute to figure out like how to put that plate on both front and back. And so if it's just like one less thing to worry about, then sure, I'll take it. But let's remember to check the weight of these ones too, even though the rears were pretty much the same. Okay, here we are again over at the scale. Let's check the weights. Okay, the purple one, oh jeez. I can't take both the bolts out. What a pain. I'll leave both the bolts in. 169 with the adapter, with the bolts. What I'll do is I'll say, okay, you know what I'll do? Okay, one bolt on this one is 188. One bolt with this one is 167. So yeah, actually that is a little bit different. So you're talking like this one's about 20 grams heavier. It does have the plastic piece in it, but I don't think that really matters too much. Anyway, so yeah, the front one's about 20 grams heavier. The back one was pretty much the same. One thing I don't like so much about this Zito's design, just a little annoyance, is I can't get this bolt out. It's captured no matter what I do, unless I take this plate off, then I can remove the bolt. Not a big deal, but just a little bit annoying. All right, let's go ahead and install the new one. Guess it's just gonna go like that. Aha, see, this one's not gonna capture the bolt. Much better. Okay, that's 1 point for the Dyisland. I hope I'm saying that right. Whenever I see it, I think about Disneyland. Is it Dyisland or Dyisland? Or Dyisland? I don't know. Let me know in the comments if I'm saying it totally wrong. I don't know. Honestly, I'm not trying to make fun. I just don't know how it's supposed to be said. Much better, like that. Much easier to access. Check it out. Okay, so that's a plus for these calipers over the other ones. Once again, I won't tighten these down 100%, so I can center the pads and then tighten them down. Then tighten it down. Okay, we got the front one installed too. Tiny bit of rubbing just like the other, but also seems to stop extremely well. So now what are we gonna do? Now I'm gonna go ahead and ride this for 1 week, break it in, make any tiny adjustments, and the next thing you'll see, hopefully, is me doing the stopping test, and let's see which ones perform the best. All right, folks, we're back. It's been about 12 days since I put these calipers on. I've got to do several rides, some of them up to a couple hours long, and I have to say these work really good. But so did the Zitos and so did the originals. They definitely brake strong. When you push them, they stop the bike quite quickly. In fact, here somewhere, I'll show my final test. So in total, I think we have 4 different tests. I'll put it all on the screen. You can see all the information. And in terms of the performance, that's 30 kilometers an hour to 0. And how many feet? 29, there we go, 30. Yikes. Whew, okay. Overall, they're very close to the same. These, I think, were in the middle. A little bit worse than the stock ones, but a little bit better than the Zitos, but you're only talking a couple feet plus or minus. So really, you could almost say they're the same in terms of performance across all 3 different calipers now that I've tested. In terms of general feel, I would say these are good. I would say they're better than the original. So if you do have some original cable pull, single moving piston style calipers, these might be a good upgrade. So are the Zitos though. So a bit of a toss up there, but I will say one thing, that these are better than the Zitos, and probably if I was going to buy something like this again, I would buy these over the Zitos, and that is really just the installation. These were easier to install because I believe it was the front ones, yeah, they had this weird captured bolt situation, which made them quite difficult. I also like how these didn't require any kind of adapter, so and they had an instruction manual that was color, and they have a video that you can actually watch. So in terms of the instruction, in terms of the ease of installation, these were the best. They were the easiest to install. They had the most information. They came with everything you'd need, plus the rotor is even included. So Definitely a win for the ease of installation and all that side of things. But once they're on the bike, it seems like it's pretty much a toss-up between all three of them. I will say that both the hydraulic ones, for whatever the reason, I don't know, could be the pads, I don't know what it is, but both of these were squeak free. Whereas the original single piston pure cable pull calipers did squeak. And it's not only on my bike. I've rode a lot of, not a lot, but a handful of other drop bar style bikes with cable pull only calipers and brake setup, and they almost always squeak, and I hate that so much. Both of the hydraulic ones, maybe it's because the fluid in them is taking up some absorption. I honestly have no idea. But both these and the Zittos that I had on before, zero squeaking. So that's actually a pretty big win for me. So in the end, if you take all that, performance about the same, squeaking better, installation on these particular ones quite good. So price is definitely quite good. I don't remember what they are exactly right now. As I mentioned before, Dyisland did send me these for free to do the review, but I'll put a link to their Amazon or their store or something down below. I think they're quite inexpensive if I remember right. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Overall, they're good calipers. If I get some more calipers and I still have this bike, we'll do the same tests and see what we get. I do want to mention one thing though. There's another there's probably more than one, but there's at least one other type of braking test that I could think that I would have liked to do, but I can't really do it, and that is coming down like a mountain. Because back when I used to live in the mountains, I remember, especially with the rim brake bikes, they would get really squishy and weak, and my hands would get cramped because I'm squeezing tighter and tighter. But that would just be another test you could do, is how's the braking performance on a sustained braking situation. And I think that's actually a lot harder on the system than just a real quick stopping as fast as you can. Although I will say that is pretty hard on the system too, and because you don't do it much, you may not realize how hard it actually is to do a maximum braking test. Every time I do it, I'm like, you know, it's like, wow, that's like a lot of force, and it's a little bit intense, you know, trying to balance your weight and really doing it as good as you can. That's something I don't normally do. But anyway, that pretty much sums it up for the testing of these Dyisland brake calipers. I will keep them on because they are quite nice, and I just don't feel like changing back to my other ones. Yeah, they're good brakes. They stop good. So did all of them, frankly. So that's pretty much it. I did want to share with you one more thing. This is just like an add-on, a bonus piece. If you don't care about other stuff on my channel, then you can stop now. I have a new bike, and I'll make a totally separate video for it, but I'll give you a sneak peek. It's another steel vintage bike. A Bianchi. I'm super excited about this one, and probably my next video will be building this guy up.